Hello, today we are talking about AIW, or Authentic Intellectual Work, by Newman, King, and Carmichael. The purpose of this program is to enhance student learning by improving teacher lessons, assessments, and pedagogy. In the simplest terms, you enhance how you ask the students what they know by being clear with your expectations.
I feel like this is just the same program that has been put into a different package. We end up throwing it away after all our time and effort. Why should I change the way I teach? My students do just fine in my classes.
This program isn't about judging how good of a teacher you are. This is about refining a task so that your expectations are clear. Your AIW group will represent many disciplines. They will not be asking you about your content knowledge, but more about how you are presenting your expectations for the task.
So they are not questioning what I know but how I teach.
They are looking at the task with a pair of fresh eyes. You know how you can look at something over and over but not catch some simple mistakes. As teachers, we know what we want the students to produce, but sometimes that doesn't always happen. This is a way to narrow those reasons down. With this program, you focus on the majority of scores, not the outlying exceptional or below par work.
So the best and the worst get thrown out.
You still can use them as classroom examples for the students, but for this, you want to see how the majority is doing.
So how does this work? We get together and people tell me that my lesson that I poured my heart out into is junk. That's a bit personal, don't you think?
Here's an example. Let's say you bring a teacher task to the group, and they look at it following the rubric in the Standards and Scoring Criteria Guide. You read the criteria and see where the task fits for each section. They include construction of knowledge, elaborated communication, and value beyond school. As your group discusses what the scores are for the task and why, the group also discusses it in terms of the task, not the teacher.
What if I get a low score? Does it mean it is a poor quality lesson? Shouldn't all lessons be high scoring?
It all depends on what you want the task to be. Not all lessons will score high. The score tells you how complex the task is and what you are asking of your students. You need to have lower scoring tasks to build up to the more complex, higher scoring tasks. The tasks that you take the content knowledge and apply it will normally score higher.
So I don't need to have all high scoring tasks.
Not every task will need to be high scoring. The scoring doesn't equate to good or bad, but more what are the expectations of the students and are they meeting them.
So as long as I get a good score, I don't have to change what I'm doing.
Actually, the discussion is the most important part. You can write down ideas and feedback that the group makes that will improve on what you have done. The one thing that is the most difficult is not being able to comment until everyone is done giving you feedback.
Why is that?
Well, we tend to become defensive about what we have done, and then that shuts some people down to receiving feedback. Since the group talks about the task and doesn't reference you, it is easier to receive this feedback. Allowing you to comment only at the end encourages you to soak in all of the valuable feedback.
What if I don't agree with them?
It is still your task, and you have the right to change it or not. The changes might be minor or major, but if the majority of the group is suggesting that you keep or edit something, it is all professional peer feedback for the benefit of the students.
Do I really have to read the book?
The books help you understand the purpose of AIW, the research behind it, and the background of the scoring rubrics. It will help you make a more informed decision when scoring a task.
So, will people score my teaching practices? I don't know if I want to be observed.
Eventually, teacher practices will be observed, but not right away. Once that does happen, you should be comfortable with your group to want feedback on your teaching. You would only be observed by one person from your group at a time.
I really don't have time to do this every day. It just seems so time-consuming.
Remember, you are not scoring or altering all of your lessons, and definitely not all at once. Just start with a lesson that you haven't been getting the student results you were looking for. Or maybe a task that you are going to introduce as new. The new activity might be less intimidating for you to present, and it might benefit your students to fine-tune it before they get it.
I think most of my students understand what I'm asking. The other students will ask. If they don't understand,
You cannot assume anything. The thing that stands out in AIW is that the score that you get is based on the evidence in the task. It is a common language for the staff to communicate with each other. It makes it less personal because it keeps you more objective about the task and not the presenter.
I still feel uncomfortable, like I'm going to be ridiculed for how I teach.
Remember that you will also score tasks and your group members might have the same apprehensions. We need to treat each other with professional respect and acknowledge their efforts. Bottom line, we are all professionals and are interested in student learning.
I feel a little better about this, but what if I have questions?
If you have any questions, you can ask your AIW team leader or building administrator and they can help you along the way. Go into it with an open mind and you will reap the benefits in student achievement and professional growth. Good luck.